Alright guys, super easy, rosemary, very airy sourdough focaccia. Let's do it. Alright guys, today it's sourdough focaccia day. I got some sourdough starter here, fed it last night. I go with 45 grams, and I got 10 grams of water right here. Pour it on my starter. Try to make sure I get the whole thing wet. And then when I do, I'm going to try to mix the starter with the water. Once you get something like that, a pretty flat, even layer, you're going to add 45 grams of flour. And you want to try to do it as evenly as possible. You don't want to try to go in one area. Basically, if you see a wet spot, go for that. There we go, 45 grams. Turn off my scale. You want to close your container tightly. I'm doing this in the morning. Today is Wednesday morning. I'm just giving it a pretty gentle shake, honestly. You want to keep it evenly distributed. Should look something like that. There will be dry flour, that's okay. Whatever we can get out of here is what we're going to use for the dough, just so you know. Alright guys, so once again, first step to making anything with the Sourdough BIGA is making the Sourdough BIGA. See, it has kind of a wet spot. Smells nice and yeasty. Is getting it in the water to submerge a little bit. For this recipe we're going to use 400 grams of water. Beautiful. Try to use a metal spoon to get this out. So it came out to 99 grams of BIGA. That's okay. First, with my hands, I'm just going to try to break up the BIGA initially as much as I can into the water. I'm just going to cover that for about 15 to 20 minutes.
Alright guys, so I ended up covering with the shower cap. It was a little tacky with the sheet pan. So now I'm going back. It's only been 10 minutes, but I can feel it just dissolving in the water. I don't want a lumpy dough, and I want this to ferment properly. Alright, I'm going to add 500 grams of flour. Okay. So this is a total hydration of 76.5% roughly. I'm going to add 10 grams of salt. As much as I'm tempted to use diastatic malt powder and oil, I'm not going to. I'm just going to start mixing everything together. Alright guys, it's time for stretch and fold numero uno. You're going to want to get your hands wet, pull it, fold it over, do the same. And another 30 minutes of rest. Get your last fold in. But what you're going to want to do now, after you get that last fold, is take your whole dough, plop it down covered. Alright, ladies and germs. So, see, it's at a almost optimal jiggle level. That's science. But while I'm getting ready for this to be done, and grab my scale. Oh, I already weighed it. Alright, I have 30 grams of water and I have 3 grams of salt. And I'm literally just gonna mix those together. Got my trusty dusty whisk. And I'm gonna make some seawater. This salt water mixture will be used to brine the focaccia, and it kind of adds some steam to the cooking process. And since the salt dissolves in the water, it'll stretch throughout the whole dough, making the whole bread have a nice salty touch to it, bringing out all the flavors. I think it's a very important step. So now, at this rate, it probably needs another hour or two to become fully peaked and ready to bake. So what I could do is oil my hands, throw more oil in the dough, and dimple it to make it have large pores. But I'm not as much of a fan of that. I like to stay away from degassing my focaccia too much. And I wait till right before I bake it, and I do a very light dimpling. And yeah, I want it to be really nice and airy. I don't want to get rid of the gases that are in here. So I'm gonna let this go for a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna bake it off and show you guys. Every time I cook a loaf of bread, I'm always worried about it.
You get anxiety?
Yeah. I mean, she sounds pretty good. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is actually way better than I thought that was going to be. Look at that beauty. Jesus. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Alright, let's see if the lady likes it. Look at that. I mean, that is spongy. You gotta eat it with that side up.